Buenas chicos, bienvenidos nuevamente a lo que es Vampyr. Vamos a seguir directamente jugando esta parte. La vez pasada había tenido que hacer ¿cómo se llama esto? Voy a tener que hacer un tratamiento por la fatiga, pero había gastado el hipoclorito de sodio, que no sé hablar, en otras cosas, así que tuve que ir a farmear un poquito, pero ya aquí lo tenemos. Vamos a ver. Entonces, ya lo hicimos. ¿Qué más? Dorothy Crane. Sala de pacientes, me imagino que en esta sala de pacientes. Aquí abajo. O sea, tengo un problema con el indicador. El indicador me dice está ahí, pero no me dice está arriba, está abajo. Creo que sí, vamos a ver. Pero bueno, me estoy contradiciendo. Pero creo que no te dice si está arriba o está abajo. Sí te dice. Que son muy malos. Aquí está, señorita Crane.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
La enfermedad disminuye la calidad de la sangre. Trata con el medicamento correcto. ¿Vamos a poder comer menos?
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
A ver.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm
Good
willing to
evening.
give you the benefit.
I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes,
Sí.
and no.
Could you at least tell me your
La
name, sir?
dama de la izquierda.
Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all
¿Qué le
that
pasa al cabello
matters.
a la señora?
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
En ese tiempo
Are you really that
era muy
rich?
criticada la
Most of the
parte
patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say
hablando
so.
de
Yes.
1918.
Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke
Ok,
Hospital.
me gusta este
What
tono
gave
que le
you
dan
such a
como-
bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed.
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
Ok.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Creo que esa sí me la superior.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir.
A ver.
Doctor,
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Pero ya le di. O sea,
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here?
said,
She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good
poco
hands.
ortodoxo, queda
It's not me you
corto
have to
para lo que es el
convince,
hospital.
Dr.
O sea,
It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all,
voy
Doctor.
a seleccionar la otra opción. Sí.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if
Me
you need
gusta
any
que,
help.
o sea, que puedo,
Don't waste your time with me.
por así decirlo, entablar
Good evening, Doctor.
relaciones
How is my son
con
doing?
los personajes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Vamos a hacer la misión de estar pidiendo hacer más. Vamos a ir. Antes de el banana me es curioso. Ok, hay algo ahí. Algo ahí. No veo quién es. ¿Qué es? ¿Qué? Pero que hay algo. O sea. Oh, shit. Sí, son dos cazavampiros. Entonces, ¿usted es un vampiro en serio? momento, hace 3 días uno de nuestros reclutas escuchó un rumor sobre la presencia de una mujer vampiro. ¿Ves? Sabía que hablar sobre que eres un vampiro no trae nada bueno, o sea. Pues ya, ¿crees que no, que es una vampiresa? A ver. Edward Swansea. Bueno, no creo que a Edward Swansea me lo vaya. No, pero T-Pers me la debe. T-Pers me la debe fuerte. A ver. No tenía nada aquí, no. Supongo que algo debe haber tenido que tener. Plomo, 4 shillings. O sea. Ok, tengo que seguir, tengo que subir. Creo. O sea, no sé qué tengo que hacer. Esto será divertido. Matar humanos es muy fácil ya. O sea, no sé si es por el progreso en el juego o que... No sé. No sé si es que ya me he acostumbrado. Realmente no sé, dudo que me haya acostumbrado porque soy realmente malo. Pero... por el momento es muy fácil. Vampiros no... humanos. Ah, ok. Sí. Oh shit, level 18, hijo de... Oh. Por jugarle al Vergas. Por jugarle al Vergas. No creo que deba. Y mira, mira el consejo que te da. Si no tienes la fuerza suficiente, recuerda que con la sangre de ciudadanos te puedes evolucionar mucho más rápido. What the fuck, ¿qué les pasa? ¿Qué les pasa? No, voy a hacer mi misión principal. Mira la puta. Qué cool. Oh, qué cool. Cool. Yo quería seguir averiguando cosas. Tenemos su favorito de sodio. O sea, suerte que no. Creo que lo mejor que hice fue no. Que me voy a alimentar del pana que estaba con las puñaladas y demás. Sí. No sé, puedo. Sí, bien, no sabía. Pero bueno, vamos a ver. Pero vamos a ver con el Word. No, pues si nos manda a hacer algo, primero vamos a dormir. Nivel 6. The next night. Cada noche la consecuencia de todas acciones puede mejorar el distrito estado de salud. Estoy en nivel 1 Vamos, let's go. Vamos.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you.
Sí, pero lo que pasa es que este da 6000 de experiencia. Pero en caso de que yo hiciese algo, o sea, bajaría muchísimo el nivel.
This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Esta la benefactora. Ok, está abajo. Siempre me equivoco con la flecha. Sí.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Oh, shit. Ese reflejo está medio raro.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Oh, shit.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted.
Ya está
No one
cansada,
has
pero no
any
para,
idea when
para
this
cobrarle
epidemic
algo.
will be over.
What the fuck? ¿Qué problema? A ver,
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Sí, sí. Pero tengo pistas. Tengo.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
So many deaths, my boy, and still more coming. How can we be sure we're making a difference?
It's locked.
Está abierta ahora mismo. Fucking brutal. Vamos a seguir. Ok, está aquí abajo.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Okay,
You
esta
seem
es la vampira.
surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
Me salvó, me salvó.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks,
Amo la banda sonora.
I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
You are aware that I too know the thirst for the scarlet nectar.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
La habilidad de persuasión será puesta a prueba.
It's here again.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. but they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Have you heard rumors of underhand dealings in the hospital?
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything. Especially what she shouldn't.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she...
In her madness.
Where were you stationed?
I really don't want to talk.
No offense.
You were...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
You disgust on every street corner.
And what of my own life?
Daily.
Red with no respect.
What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want...
Dr. Swansea is quite...
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman.
Harriet Jones. Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor.
I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some
Blackmail?
If I didn't...
God!
I assure you, madam, this is not...
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Much energy for the pain.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if the nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Yo me voy a encargar de eso.
No matter how you feel about her.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate?
What can you...
Let me guess.
She could...
That...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Mr.
Doctor...
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me.
You're lucky.
This place is full of sickness.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure...
I'll leave you. Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm not...
Did he really? It's a good thing...
All members of staff have already read...
I see. Well, I'm a little...
You
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have...
The people who work here all...
How are things?
Not good, to say the least.
An invisible ent...
Sorry, Doctor. These luck...
Do you think this hospital can...
We are all volunteer...
I'm not familiar...
Brilliant.
Most of them.
It would be inappropriate for me to...
Is there any...
Well, I have never...
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing...
Nurse Brannigan, if you do...
No.
Goodbye, nurse.
Definitiva.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals, or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
What the fuck? Esa pregunta siempre fue esta. Vamos a ver. Buscar un ciudadano, no te olvides de tus sentidos vampiros. A ver. Vamos a ver.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
pasa en Paul? Oh shit, muy bien. Quería seguir con muchas ratas.
What sort of creature is this? Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Oh shit. No le harás nada, o sea, si estás enfermo no tienes dinero, no importa quién sea de dónde venga, venga a ver a Dorothy. Si necesita ayuda, sin trucos gratis, no hacemos preguntas. Se va a encontrar la casa de PTSP y presentar este cupón. Shit.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Creo que lo dejaré ir.
Newton, don't be sorry. We'll meet again soon, and we will be serene and beautiful.
El juego te premia por ser malo, pero también te hace sentir mal cuando lo haces. O sea, ¿de qué sirve? Pues nada, creo que lo dejaremos aquí. Sí, lo dejaremos aquí. Y vamos para la próxima, chicos. Bye. Recuerden suscribirse al canal, denle like, compartan con sus amigos si les gustó el video. Hasta la próxima.